Hi everyone, it's Deb from Deb's RV Services and welcome to today's video. I'm going to talk to you about the 2024 Brinkley Model Z fifth wheel. I've had the opportunity to inspect some of these units recently and I really like the build, the quality, and the layout of the fifth wheel. So the last one that I inspected, I was able to capture a lot of footage for you and I'm doing more of a voiceover. So I'm going to show you the interior, the exterior. I'm going to show you some of the things that I find. So I hope you enjoyed today's video and I will talk to you at the end. So this is the exterior of the 2024 Brinkley Model Z fifth wheel. And there are frameless windows, good cargo space. There's a telescoping handle there by the door. You have two awnings around the curbside. And then there's one slide out on the curbside. Then you have your rear mounted ladder on the back side along with the window and a cargo area. And then the street side has 3 slide outs. So a really nice looking unit. So the first thing I do is I'm looking at the front cap and I'm checking to make sure that all the exterior lights are working. I hook up a device that allows me to plug in the 7-pin so that I can check all those lights. Now I'm checking the emergency breakaway cable. I actually pull it out and then I make sure that there is amperage, like an amp draw, on the wires. So I'm making sure that that works correctly, and this unit did have plenty of amps. So what I'm doing here is just taking pictures of the curbside sidewall, just taking a look and making sure that there's no deficiencies in anything, in any of the decals or on the sidewall itself. They don't use a sealant, they use butyl tape. So here I'm looking in the cargo area and I notice that there is no propane tank at all. That's why I kind of have that look on my face. And I take pictures of it anyway. I'm just looking at the interior and making sure that everything looks okay. Now I'm opening up one of the cargo bays and I'm making sure that everything looks good in there. I usually just take my camera, I take some pictures, I turn on interior cargo lights to make sure they work, and I look around everywhere. I'll use my flashlight if I need to, and I kind of feel the walls and the interior and just make sure that everything looks good. I'm also checking the outdoor shower and making sure that it works correctly. Now I'm checking the other cargo area, and this is the outdoor kitchen. It has a refrigerator and a couple of drawers in it. There is not a stove or anything. So basically what I do is I'm going to go grab my thermometer and I'm checking the temperature of the fridge to make sure it works like it should. I also check the drawers too. I am looking at the door and I am also testing to make sure that it functions properly and the stairs lift up. I always take my pictures of, the whole step-by-step process, and then I just lift up the door, make sure it's locked in place like it's supposed to, take another picture, and then I bring it back down. Here, what I'm doing is going inside, and I have the camera set up so that I can bring out the awning. So I bring it all the way out, I take pictures of the material, and make sure that the awning also comes out and goes in correctly. I'm doing the same for the slide. So with each slide, I record it coming in and coming out, and I make sure that everything's aligned properly. And then after I bring it in, I go ahead and I'm going to look at the top of the slide and just make sure that the roof looks good. And you can see that it looks perfectly fine. Everything looks as it should. Here I'm doing my tire check. So I'm looking at everything, the sidewall. I want to make sure that there's no cracks or signs of wear and tear on it. These are brand new tires. They're rated H tires. They're really good tires, but I'm still going to go through and do all my checks. I'm going to look at the pressure, and then I'm going to go ahead and check the tread and make sure that that's appropriate, because you just really never know. So I'm going through all those checks, and then I'm looking at making sure that everything behind the tire looks good as well. Something I found when I was checking behind the tire was there was a loose connection with the electric trailer brakes. So you can see that tape is just kind of unraveled, and that could mean that the wires could separate eventually, and that's a life safety issue. Something else that I found was that the spare tire was pretty wobbly and not secure in its bracket. I always perform a propane leak test, and here I am showing you how I connect everything. This is to an external barbecue connection, and I go ahead and what I do is I get my manometer ready and I bleed out some of the propane so that I can get to 8 inches of water column, and then I hold that pressure for 5 minutes. And if the test is accurate and it's complete without a leak, it will not move after the 5 minutes. On the street side cargo area, I am testing the outside water shower again, and I'm going to also test all the other connections there. I'm going to be making sure that the city water connection is good, and I also make sure that I get proper tank flow as well with the water pump. And then I'm looking at the water heater. This is a tankless water heater, so I don't have to do as many checks as I do with the tank type, but I'm still going to look over everything and make sure that it looks good. Here I am checking the propane tank, and I'm making sure that it looks like it's supposed to, and the hoses are in good shape, and the regulator is there and facing downward. So this is the interior of the fifth wheel. Very nice, has recliner chairs. It has a nice sofa with a separate bed that folds out. You have your fireplace and your TV, lots of cupboard space, and look at the kitchen. I really love that island, and it's really nice, very spacious, and I love the pantries and the lights. This is another bedroom here. Well, it's a bunk bed area or another sitting room, and then you have your hallway, which leads down to the bathroom and the bedroom. One bathroom and the fifth wheel, and glass shower. And then you have your bedroom with a nice king-size bed and full closet area. I like how you can walk around the bed and easily get in or out of it. So what I like to do is I like to test out the furniture, acting like I live there, just kicking back like I'm going to watch a movie, and test it out and make sure that it functions properly. And then when I close it, it's normal for it to take a couple times sometimes, and then I'm good. But this other one, when you see this recliner, I think I must have tried to kick it back like 10 times. It just would not stick. So it's something that I want to note in my report to have them fix it or replace it. I don't think my client's gonna want to have the hamstrings of Hercules just to get these chairs closed after they're finished watching a movie. So yeah, I even kick off my shoes thinking that maybe that'll help. So I finally think I have it closed, and then I move on. Now I am testing out the windows, and the chair opens again. So it was kind of funny. So I really had to get that thing to stick closed. It took a lot of force to get that thing to stay. But so next what I'm doing is I'm looking at the windows, and I'm making sure that the shades, the windows open properly, and that the shades, pull down. And I really like the shades here. I like how you can have the day shade and then the night shade. They're easy to work with. They don't get, like some of these RVs when I inspect them, they're really difficult to manage, and they crinkle and they just don't look good. And these look nice. They look clean. I really like them. So here I'm testing out the fireplace. I like to test out all the functions so it turns on, and I get a nice picture of it, and then I go back and then I'm testing out all the buttons and making sure that they work, they function properly, and you can see it changing colors. Next, I like to open up all the manuals for my clients, and especially if I'm on a used trailer or something where I can show them that they have taken proper care and maintenance of the RV. This is a good way for me to show them. I spread them all out and I take a nice picture of them and I add it to the report. Here I am looking at the kitchen, taking pictures of the sink area, making sure the faucet works. And then what I do is I do multiple things here. So not only am I running the water, but I am filling up the sink at the same time. I am also testing the hot water, filling my cup, and I'm taking a thermometer and actually testing it. So I'm handling multiple tasks at once. And then after I have that water in the sink, I take a video of me draining the water, and then it shows that there are no leaks underneath the sink. These drawers are really interesting. I thought it was nice that they have a garbage can and then a recyclable can. And then when I open this top one, this is a really neat feature of the Brinkley too. They have a paper towel holder that gets placed in there, and then you can just pull it out and set it on the counter. I love that. And then when you leave, you can just store it back away. I think that's a really neat feature. So I always test out the microwave. I take pictures of the inside, and I also place a cup of water in there. I turn it on for 1 minute, and I take a little video of myself doing that. And what I'm trying to do is I want to take a temperature of the water after 1 minute and show that it works and as it should, and it heats the water like it should. So while I'm letting that cook, I'm just taking other pictures. I'm looking in cupboards, taking my flashlight, making sure that I don't see any signs of water or wear and tear. This is a new unit, but I still check everything as if it was used. I want to make sure that there's nothing going on. So I'm just kind of looking at all the cupboards and making sure that everything looks good. Here I am lighting the stove so that I can make sure that all the burners work like they're supposed to. And then once I get them lit, I take a picture of it with my camera. So there, they're all lit, and I'm taking my picture. Once I'm done with that, I'm turning off the burners, and then I'm going to move on to the oven. I'm going to look in there, and I'm going to do the same thing. Now I'm looking at the refrigerator, and I'm going to take some pictures there. I want to look at the control panel and take a picture of that, and it shows the temperature on there. But even though it does that with this is a residential refrigerator, I'm still going to open it up, and I'm going to put my thermometer on the inside, and I'm going to take temperature of the fridge and the freezer and a picture to show that it is at the right temperature. So here I am opening up the pantry, and I'm making sure that everything looks good in there. And I really like this pantry. It's really nice. There's a outlet in there, so I'm checking the polarity. And yeah, I'm taking my flashlight, and I'm just looking at all the corners and making sure that everything looks good. Again, even though it's brand new, you still want to look and make sure that nothing looks suspicious or, you know, cracked, worn, anything. You're looking for any sign of something that is not built properly or doesn't look proper. This is me testing that the fan up on the ceiling, if you look ahead, I'm making sure that that is working properly so that the lid opens, the fan turns on, and then the fan turns off and closes. Here I am looking at the breaker box. So what I'm doing is I'm unscrewing the frame of it so that I can look at the wires. What I like to do is make sure that the wires don't have discoloration or any signs of where they're not connected properly. So I take my flashlight, I look at that carefully, and then I take some pictures as well. Once I can get the frame off, that is. There we go. So I'm just going to take my flashlight, and then I'm going to take a look in there and make sure that that all looks good, and take some pictures as well. Checking all the alarms is something that I do. I usually take a video of me pressing the button and letting it sound. And here I was trying to test an air conditioner, and this was in the bunk room, and the thermostat did not work properly. It lit up, you can see the light, but you couldn't actually see the numbers or what setting it was actually on. So even though the fan would come on for the air, I couldn't tell if it was fan or air conditioner. I couldn't tell what temperature it was. So I noted it in the report that they needed to actually replace the thermostat. Here I am taking a look at the other room that has the bunk bed. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring down that bunk bed. Again, I'm going to treat it as if that's my RV, and I'm bringing it down for myself. I'm going to actually use the ladder, and I'm going to climb up there and test out the bed. And then I also, while I'm there, I test out the window and make sure that that works properly up there. Here I am checking the delta T of the air conditioner. So I put one probe in the intake area, and I put one probe in the outtake. And then what it does is I press a button, and my tool tells me what the difference is between the two. I am looking at the bathroom, going ahead and taking a picture of the shower area. Looking at if there's a sunlight, I'm, taking pictures of that. I'm testing out the sink area, running the water, again, hot and cold, checking in the vanity. I'm checking that whole sink area, making sure that there's no leaks underneath. I am opening up the shower and I'm checking that the shower works properly. Now in this one in particular, there's 3 different types of shower heads. So I'm running all 3 of them. It's really kind of cool. I've never seen a shower quite like this. So this is really, really neat. So I'm just making sure the water works with all the different types. This is me testing the toilet. So I'm going to flush the toilet. And then while I'm flushing it, I'm going to video around the toilet just to show that there is no leaking and there's no issues going on with that. I also make sure that the toilet bowl holds water and flushes properly. This is just me testing the bed area, lifting it up, taking pictures of that, making sure that that works well. When I'm looking at the bed area, I'm actually making sure that all the lights turn on and off that are at the headboard area and the windows work correctly. I noticed there was a trim piece that was coming off at the closet area in the bedroom. And then lastly, the bedroom door would not shut properly. So it just keeps opening and I close it and it opens. And so I had to note that in my report that it needed to be repaired. And I keep trying. And I keep trying. And I keep trying. So what did you think of the 5th wheel? They're pretty nice, aren't they? I really enjoyed doing the inspection and I did find things that would be considered life safety issue. Now, I'm not sure about the spare tire wobbling. I can't imagine that they would want it to be that way because if you're going over a bumpy road and it starts like hitting up on the underbelly, that could cause some problems. Also the trailer brake wiring and that not being fastened up properly, that could eventually loosen and cause a problem. So it was really good to have the inspection, but they're easy repairs by the dealership. So that's why one of the things that I want to stress to people is that it's super important to get an inspection before you take it off the lot. Because sometimes you could drive that thing off the lot and you could have something that was just a simple fix of a loose wire that down the road could have turned into more of a disaster. Okay, so the repair is quite easy at the time, but it might not be later on down the road. So I hope you got a lot out of this video and comment below and let me know what you think, and I will see you on the next one.